Hey guys, it's Chelsa Messenger with Picks and Parlays. We're talking NFL here. Saints at Bears. If you want 15% off the entire site at picksandparlays.net, just use the promo code TREAT, T-R-E-A-T. The Saints are road favorites in this one, -4. The total is 43.5. We've got Craig Trapp joining us to talk this one. Craig, New Orleans is 4-2 overall, but 2-4 against the number, while Chicago is 5-2, 4-3 against the spread. So what is the play that you're looking at here?
Well, first of all, when you look at this line, this advanced line opened at 2.5 with New Orleans favorite in a total of 47. Of course, after the Bears struggled, those games came up before Monday Night Football. Those lines came up before Monday Night Football. After the Bears struggled, obviously we see these lines adjust, and I think it's right about where it should be with the Saints. The big question for the Saints, I think, is you're playing a dome team from the South, having to play in what's going to be cold weather in Chicago. Could be windy, of course, as we know in Chicago. So that could be a problem. And they don't have Michael Thomas. So those are the questions if you're looking at the side. But to me, I'm just going to stay away from the side and play the total here at Chelsa.
Well, what do you like in the total?
Well, if you look at this game and you think, after you watching Chicago defense, and they were really good, but I think the Rams knew they had them covered pretty much, and they could score when they wanted, but they needed to play to their strength, which is that great Rams pass rush and Aaron Donald. The Saints don't have that type of pass rush. They don't have one guy that can just create that on their own. They have to blitz more and create more exotic looks to get that. I think the Bears will open it up a little bit being at home this week. So I think they'll score. I like the Saints to obviously do their dink and dunk that they're so good at. And even without Michael Thomas, where he's questionable, probably won't play this week. I think they score 30 on their own. I think the Bears can get me 14. So I definitely like the over 43.5.
Right, and that's a really low number at 43.5, and the Saints have actually hit the over in their last 5 straight. I think the problem for most people would be trusting this Bears offense to put up any kind of points, because we saw him on Monday Night Football. Nick Foles, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and the Bears only rushed for 49 yards. So that's usually a problem, but the Saints have actually allowed quite a few points per game, 29 points per game. So it's definitely a defense that is, you can score on them. Any other things you're looking at in this one?
Well, could this be the return of Mitch Trubisky? If Foles struggles in the first few possessions, I would not be surprised at all if Chicago at least goes back to a stronger arm quarterback that we saw with Trubisky. Trubisky's always just bad decision making, but maybe sitting on the sideline for a few weeks will help out. I think that will be a big thing that you might see in this game. But to me, I just think you have to stay away from the side. Don't mess with it just in case of the weather conditions here. Just take the over. I think the Saints, like I said, I think they go for 30, maybe even 35 this week.
Well, I am on the side in this one because I do like the Saints at -4. I do have trust issues with both teams. The Saints because, they haven't covered in 4 of their last 5, and I don't trust the Bears because they're just not a good football team. As I mentioned, their offense is really terrible, even though I think this is a better spot for them here against the Saints defense. But I think the more trustworthy team here is the Saints, just because they do that little dink and dunk offense that Drew Brees runs so well. And I think they do put up points on this Bears defense. Yeah, they're pretty good, but the problem is when your offense is that bad and your defense has to keep going on the field that many times, it just makes it a lot harder on your defense. So I think that spells trouble for the Bears here, and I like the Saints.
I don't blame you. I think the Saints are clearly the better team and headed in the right direction.
One last thing, as you mentioned kind of at the first, just keep an eye on that weather, because Chicago weather can be a little brutal at times. So if you are playing a total, just keep an eye on that. That's going to do it for our talk here on Picks and Parlays. Good stuff from Craig Trapp, as always. Craig, thanks for joining us.